Hi, my name is Sydney Wigand, and for my final project, I've chosen to redesign the Rockstar Games launcher. Rockstar Games is a popular video game publishing company, and if you want to play any of their games, you have to download their launcher first. A lot of people have issues with the launcher, and I think it's pretty poorly designed. Despite the fact that a third of gamers are disabled, video games don't fall under the purview of the ADA, and the lack of accessibility is pretty evident in many games. So I'd like to start by redesigning the Rockstar launcher with accessibility in mind. To accomplish this, I started by doing research. I read about adaptive gaming, I watched content from disabled creators, and I spoke to a friend about their experience with adaptive technology. I then created a journey map with two fictional personas to discover possible issues with the user experience, and I created a Figma prototype of the new launcher. Layla was the first of my two personas, and she wants to play GTA 5 and has visual contrast sensitivity issues. She found that the contrast on the launcher itself was too low, and there was no comprehensive way to adjust visual settings in the launcher or the game. James has impaired mobility and uses an adaptive controller, and he discovered that there was no pairing support for his controller and no convenient way to change mobility settings in the launcher or the game. So I started with the landing page. I bumped up contrast on all labels, and I added visual markers to show which tab and game are selected. And I also replaced the advertisements that appear in the window with content about the game you have selected. To increase accessibility, I created a new tab in the settings with 4 subsections. The first offers visual customization settings that can be applied across all games unless otherwise specified. And I've got options to increase visual cue size, disable clutter, enable color blindness mode, and adjust contrast. To facilitate play for those with auditory disabilities, I added options to customize different volumes and captions, and many games indicate approaching enemies with auditory cues, so I included an option to mark them on the heads-up display with arrows instead. To add more mobility options, I included sensitivity customizations, and for those with less dexterity, I included an option to increase the amount of time that you have to react. I also added an action state toggle for those who might have a hard time holding down a key for a prolonged period. And then finally, I read that many people who use adaptive controllers have a hard time with pairing and compatibility. So I added a tab to assist with pairing and links that lead to a fictional webpage on Rockstar's site that would ideally contain troubleshooting information. This project was a great foray into accessibility, and although I've only scratched the surface, I hope to continue to learn and implement more solutions in my future designs.